The village post office hummed with the low murmur of casual banter and the soft beeping of the processing machines. Harold, a wiry old man with a gentle demeanor and gray-streaked hair, stood in line, clutching a small parcel. He watched the world through the thick lenses of his glasses, his eyes shimmering with a wisdom that belied his frail appearance. The morning sun filtered through the window, casting warm patterns across the tiled floor, but a chill swept through the building when the door suddenly burst open. 2 masked robbers stormed in, brandishing guns. Their eyes flaring with desperation and intent. "Everyone down," one of them shouted. The room froze. Cashiers and customers alike ducked instinctively, the weight of fear gripping their hearts. No one dared defy them. Harold remained standing, seemingly unfazed by the chaos swirling around him. The robbers marched forward, shoving people out of their way like discarded paper. They reached Harold and pushed him roughly aside. "Get on the floor, old man," one of them sneered, their contempt evident. But Harold's eyes narrowed, and he straightened. "Listen here, lads," he began, his voice steady. "This isn't the way to go about things. You don't need to ruin your lives. You need to think seriously about what you are doing. You can turn your lives around, even now. Why don't you just give me the gun?" The armed young men exchanged skeptical glances, laughter bubbling up from deep inside them. "We don't need a motivational speech, Grandpa. Get on the floor." Those words, however, sparked something deep inside Harold. The memories of his army training flooded back, early morning runs, grueling exercises, the camaraderie of his regiment. He felt the surface of his simple life crack, revealing the seasoned soldier beneath. With a sudden fluidity that belied his appearance, Harold launched himself into action. A swift roundhouse kick caught the first robber off guard, smacking the weapon from his grip. As the gun skittered across the floor, the robber stumbled, disbelief etched on his face. The second robber, stunned by the sudden turn of events, hesitated. But that was all the time Harold needed. He dropped low, executing a precise takedown that sent the second robber sprawling to the ground. Using his body weight to pin the young man, he twisted the robber's arm, and with deft precision, disarmed him. The room erupted in chaos, gasps and murmurs filling the air as customers registered what was happening. Yet, Harold remained focused, channeling all the strength of his army past. The first robber scrambled to regain his footing, but before he could react, Harold had already pivoted, using a combination of moves, kicks, and locks that relayed decades of special training. Within moments, both robbers found themselves incapacitated, their own weapons turned against them. Held firmly on the ground, they glared up at Harold with open-mouthed anger, their confidence evaporated, replaced by confusion and dread. A distant siren blared, steadily growing louder until it was upon them. The police burst through the doors, guns trained on the scene, eyes wide with surprise. "What happened here?" one officer shouted, taking in the sight of the old man standing tall and poised over the 2 defeated robbers. Harold simply raised an eyebrow, his chest rising and falling with the exertion of combat. "Just teaching these young men a lesson in manners," he replied, as if carrying on a conversational thread, rather than recounting the upheaval of the last few minutes. The officers moved in, handcuffing the robbers, who glared at Harold as if he were a specter risen from the past. They were led away in shame, their pride punctured by a man whose age they had mistaken for weakness. Harold turned to collect his package, which he handed in to the postmaster to be sent in the next post, a humble smile touching his lips. The chatter began anew, this time accompanied by admiration as whispers of the hero old man circulated through the post office. Harold couldn't help but chuckle, a warmth spreading through his chest. "I think a cup of tea is in order," he thought to himself, making his way slowly to the door. He casually stepped outside into the morning sunshine. He pulled a red beret from his pocket and placed it proudly on his head. The SAS cap badge gleamed in the morning sunlight as he set off for home.